Friends, this is something big. Once again, the fantastic has become a reality. OpenAI has announced the launch of an advanced voice mode, so far only for a small number of paid ChatGPT Plus users. This will allow them to test more natural real-time conversations. All ChatGPT Plus users will get this access in the fall. In order to check if you have this feature or not, you need to go to the mobile app on your smartphone, and at the bottom where you had the headphones icon, there should now be a black button with sticks on it. Other than that, they said they will send an email to anyone who has gotten that access. ChatGPT's advanced voice mode allows for real-time responses, and you can interrupt the robot and ask it again another question or a clarifying question, and it will listen to you while interrupting your monologue. Plus, it can respond and recognize sarcasm, humor, and more. The new model doesn't need to convert your voice to text like older versions. OpenAI demonstrated advanced voice back in May. Back then, the voice was called by the name Sky, and it was very similar to Scarlett Johansson's voice.
Mike, she wonders if whales could talk, what would they tell us?
It was then revealed that they used that voice without Johansson's permission, and eventually Scarlett released a statement about it afterward. Specifically, she revealed that she turned down several offers from OpenAI CEO Sam Altman, who wanted her to be the voice of ChatGPT. Johansson said she was outraged, shocked, and couldn't believe that Altman had created a voice that eerily resembled her own voice. OpenAI then removed that voice after Scarlett Johansson hired lawyers. Well, back to the voice model. If you don't even have the update, there are already plenty of examples of its use anyway. In addition to voice use, OpenAI plans to introduce additional features such as ChatGPT video communication and screen sharing. However, this will be at a later date. Well, let's see some examples.
I want you to act like a super excited sports commentator, but instead of it being a soccer match, it's just me making coffee. And I want you to be so excited that you cannot help but scream and be super animated.
Ladies and gentlemen, hold on to your mugs because we are witnessing a brewing masterclass. The beans are ground. The water is heated. This is the moment we've all been waiting for. The pour begins, a steady stream of potential and flavor cascading into the vessel. Look at that focus, that precision. The aroma fills the air, it's intoxicating. The crema forms absolute perfection. Folks, we're in the presence of a true coffee artisan. This cup, no, this masterpiece is destined for greatness.
Yeah, cool. So it picks up emotions, and you can set it to any emotion and tell it to speak at what tempo and what emotionality. I mean, it has a good understanding of the moods of the voice and how to pitch it. So it's already very close to human moods and human perception. I mean, to speak emotionally, fast, soulful, or monotonous and boring. I mean, he's really picking up on that, and you can ask him to do that. I think that's really cool. So let's move on.
What does a baby computer call its father?
What does a baby computer say to its father?
What? Data.
So that might seem pretty simple, but until recently that was impossible. Like, let me show you the old ChatGPT. What does a baby computer say to its father?
It says data.
Close, but not quite. See, the old ChatGPT, what it would do is it would translate my voice into text and then feed that text into GPT-4. And there's a lot that gets lost in translation when you do that, because the translation software is like kind of dumb. And so GPT-4, because it could only read the text, was only getting like kind of a compressed facsimile of all the nuances of what I had just said. But the new ChatGPT voice mode can natively understand speech, so it can capture all the nuances of what I'm saying and react a lot more like a human would.
Yes, this is also a very interesting point. That is, before in the old versions, he translated first the voice into text, and the text is soulless, unemotional, and that is, he accepted only the written words, and this is a formal such perception. And there was a formal response. Now we can yell, we can speak quickly, we can make some intonation, we can emphasize some word that is more possibilities, and besides that, of course, it is faster than this processing into text. This is a tremendous movement forward.
Let me show you another example. All right, you're an expert translator, and I'm talking to a director, and I want you to translate for me what he's saying.
あなたは書斎にゆっくりと座っています。そしてテーブルの上にはサントリーウイスキーがあります。わかりますね?
I'm catching that he's describing a setting. You're seated comfortably in an office, and there's a bottle of Suntory whiskey on the table. Are you discussing a specific scene or setting for a project?
込めてゆっくりとカメラを見て、そしてあなたの古い友達に会うよ。
It sounds like they want you to look calmly into the camera. Gently. Are you filming a scene?
Yeah, look. It's a completely different approach. First of all, he understands the atmosphere where it's all happening. He begins to describe it, and he will make his answer based on the context of what is going on around him. That is, he will make his response based on the environment. That is, he will adjust to it. That's one point. That's already cool. And the second thing is he understands, he can distinguish between different people's voices. So he can see where one person is and where the other person is, and that's the next step. That's a kind of unreal breakthrough. So you can have a conversation in companies, and he'll be like one of the members of the company, and he'll add his information to each voice, what he said, and respond based on that. Moving on. The next thing is that you and the GPT chat room can discuss a thought, and this is also incredibly cool that you have an idea that you have come up with that you think is brilliant at the moment. So you have some idea for a business, or you want to make a movie, and you have an idea for a movie, and you think it's brilliant at that moment. And you, instead of calling a friend, listen, what a good idea I have. A friend, of course, he will say, sorry, I'm busy right now. Or he'll say, I have no idea. I don't know anything about this. You have the opportunity to go straight to a professional in this field. And that would be the GPT chat room. And you say to him, listen, what a cool idea I have, let's discuss it. And you start telling it to him, discussing it, and he starts telling you what he thinks about it. And he's like a professional. He's gonna give you advice and talk to you from a professional's point of view. It's incredibly cool. It's a shared education, no limits to anyone, and discussing any thought in a professional way. Let's see how it goes.
Let me show you. So I've got a lot of stuff on my mind. I want to figure out what piece I want to write next, and I just want you to listen to me ramble. Don't interrupt. Don't say anything except and I'll tell you when I'm done, and then we can have a conversation about it, okay? It's Saturday morning. I went and got coffee. I was doing some reading. I'm thinking a lot about what this new voice mode should be useful for. And I don't know, I just want to get out some of the stuff in my head. It just feels a little more human-like. Like it's sort of like the, a lot of the friction that I normally associate with interacting with voice interfaces is just gone. Okay, now let's talk about it. Can you reflect back to me what you heard?
It sounds like you're exploring the difference in how voice...
Okay, talk faster.
You mentioned how voice mode feels different, more human-like, almost like the movie Her, and how it's smoother than usual voice interfaces. You are pondering what this new voice mode could best be used for and getting ideas out of your head.
Yeah, I think that makes sense. Can you ask me some questions to help me pin down what I'm feeling about this?
Sure. What about voice mode feels most distinct to you? Is it the naturalness of the interaction, the convenience, or something else?
Okay, one thing is the latency. Another thing is it feels like you actually have a little bit more of a personality, like you're laughing, and I don't know, it just feels more like you're reacting to me. Like I can ask you to say instead of interrupting me, and so I guess I've always felt this like...
And that's how many professional referrals we can replace. And the great thing is, We can ask this professional online, anytime, 24/7, whenever you wanted, whenever you're in the mood. You don't have to wait for a schedule. You don't have to arrange and match your schedule with the schedule of the person you're going to be talking to. It's unrealistically cool. Yeah. And what's cool is that we weren't fooled by OpenAI and everything looks exactly as they showed in the presentation. This is also worth a lot. I mean, they really showed what they had. And of course, it picks up the intonation and picks up the nuances in the voice, and it becomes more human-like. And you don't have to bother with it now, and you don't even have to look for prompts necessarily. You communicate as with a normal person, stutter, say words that are only convenient for you, and do not need to adjust to the prompt request. That is, you communicate as with a normal person. The time is just around the corner when you will not see anything strange or unusual in the fact that you will just talk to your car or your vacuum cleaner, you will talk to your coffee maker. What a time we have ahead of us, I'm just baffled. And the great thing is, that time to learn something, you had to pull a book off the shelf or get on the internet and read. That time is gone. It's irrevocably gone. Another time begins. You need to push the button and ask.
Another topic, I'm actually looking into buying a house, and I'm wondering if I want to get a $500,000 loan at 30-year fixed at 4%, what would be the rate?
For a $500,000 loan with a 30-year fixed rate at 4%, your monthly payment would be about $2,387.
I guess rates are actually closer to like 6.6 right now, so what would that monthly fee be?
If the rate is 6.6% instead, your monthly payment would be roughly $3,192.
For a $1 million home, what other factors do I need to consider when looking at the monthly cost? Things like taxes and other stuff to consider. Like, what should I be setting aside?
Beyond the mortgage payment, you'll need to consider property taxes, homeowner's insurance, and possibly private mortgage insurance, PMI, if your down payment is less than 20%. Maintenance and utilities can also add up, so budgeting for those is wise. Homeowners Association fees, HOA, if applicable, can be another expense to factor in. Planning for these will give you a clearer picture of your overall monthly costs. Any specific details you're curious about?
I don't know if you're following the latest news. The Fed just cut rates. Do you know anything about that?
I don't have real-time updates, so I'm not aware of any rate changes. The Fed adjusts rates based on economic conditions.
What rate do you think it's at right now?
I can't give you the current rate.
ChatGPT will lay it all out for you, for any question you may have. Well, here we've been looking at the financial issue in particular. The bank manager will tell you only pluses, what a favorable rate he has, how he has everything favorable, you just take it. And here you turn to the GPT chat, and he tells you not only the pros, but also the cons. And actually what you need to consider more, second, third, fifth, and how much you have to pay, how much you have to earn, and how much you're going to have overpayment. I think it's such an unbiased professional who will tell you without interest in any bank or your interest. There's an unbiased attitude about anything. I think that's really cool. We should try it. Guys, that's it for me. I hope it's been interesting. Subscribe to the channel. Give us some likes. We'll see you in other videos on this channel.